Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 126. We've got transfer deadline day just around the corner. I'm sure there'll be some offers to try and tempt our stars away. We also face last season's Premier League champions Manchester United. After they tried to sign us as manager this summer, they settled on Diego Simeone instead, and their side have won 2 out of 2 so far. As have we, our best start to a Premier League season. We've also got our first ever draw for the Champions League group stages, and we'll throw a Carabao Cup one in there as well. So if you're looking forward to all of the action and you are enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It feels like we're pushing towards the finishing line now. We just need to eke up from that top 4 side or that top 6 side that's winning trophies to try and get ourselves in the title mix or in the Champions League mix. So if you are looking forward to the action and you are still enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We'll be back tomorrow with Helsingborg. We're well into our second season there. You can find that playlist in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, football podcast, merchandise store, and the transfer special from this one last time out in case you missed it. Because we have got a new biggest ever signing, so if you didn't see that one, you need to go and meet him up in the eye above. Finally, you can support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button down below. We've got a lot to get through, so let's get straight into the episode, and we start with a Carabao Cup draw. We'll do the 2 draws, we'll then go and reflect on our results, and then head to deadline day, where I'm sure we're not really looking to do anything in terms of ins. I'm sure there'll be some temptations the other way. So let's go through the inbox. Carabao Cup third round draw. Give us a nice easy one so we can rotate. Let's draw all the teams and see who we get. It is Norwich away. Probably one of the dark horses for the competition and for the top 4 of the Premier League. They're building a real top side at the moment. That is not the draw I wanted in the third round. Let's go to the Champions League draw though, because that's the big one. It's the one we're experiencing for the first ever time. Well, just to go back to a point I was mentioning in the last episode, another physio comes in. We're continuing to improve that team off the pitch, and that's where most of our work's been done in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But the Champions League group stage draw is here. Do we go in the first pot for winning the Europa League? We do. That's going to have a big impact. So we're going to be in there. We avoid PSG, who obviously beat us in that thriller last time out. We obviously avoid United anyway. We also avoid Celtic, Porto, Milan, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. In the second pot, I'd imagine there's some English sides. We avoid Liverpool, but there are some massive teams in there. What I'm really looking at though is pot 3, because as long as we think we can beat the sides in pot 3 and 4, we should get through. So let's draw the first pot and we'll be back in a minute to see who we face in our Champions League group. Right, we're in Group C. That's the one to look out for. The final's at the Millennium Stadium as well, by the way, just out of interest. So it will be on home UK shores if we can get there. I doubt that'll happen this time. There's 6 teams left in the pot 2 draw. Behind my head, Liverpool, who we obviously can't face, Barca and Atletico, then Inter, Dortmund and Roma on the other side. Who's it going to be? I've no idea how good most of these are. We have got Atletico Madrid in the second pot. But the real test is who we're going to get in the third and fourth, because that determines how likely we are to get through. Pot 3 then, Rangers and Sporting have already gone. Hoffenheim are in there, Spurs we can't face. Lask are the ones that on paper I'd say I probably want. We've got the 2 Ukrainian sides, Shakhtar and Dinamo, and then we've got Galatasaray as well. I'd take Lask. We've beaten them in the Europa League comfortably. I'd like to face them again. Is Shakhtar, which on paper seems a little bit more difficult. Let's move on to pot 4. A bit of a mix in here. You've probably got the minnows being Gothenburg, who of course are more of a feature in our Helsingborg save. Utrecht and Slavia Prague may be beatable sides, but then from big nations we've got Bordeaux, Valencia and Wolfsburg, sides that are from the better leagues but probably haven't been in Europe recently. CSKA Moscow and Anderlecht are gone. Of course I'd like Gothenburg because that virtually guarantees Europa League after Christmas. It's Wolfsburg though. That is one of the groups of death. We'll have a look at the rest of the draw. I mean, Group D is not much better, but Slavia Prague, you'd expect to be the losing side there. Lask and Gothenburg are in the same group together with Porto. And Roma were probably one of the weakest in pot 2. That is the most fortunate group you could have got. And we're probably not far off the most unfortunate. Wolfsburg from pot 4, Shakhtar from pot 3, and Atletico Madrid from pot 2. We have had no advantage really from being seeded there, have we? I would say up there with Group H, that's probably the toughest group of the lot. Not what we wanted at all. a nightmare for our first Champions League draw. With that done though, the focus will turn to deadline day, which is tomorrow of course. I'm not expecting much in terms of ins. In terms of outs, we've got a couple that have left the club in recent weeks. I did decide in the end to loan out Emiliano Rojas. He's gone to Benfica for £87,000 loan fee and all of his wages. It's a really solid player, but not quite staying fit, and he's not going to get much football here now. We need people to benefit, and for him, that comes from playing football. When he played for Oxford, when he played for Zenit, he improved. So hopefully the same will happen for him with Benfica, who I presume are going to be in Europe of some form. So really good to see him getting more football. Hopefully one more year and he's ready to go at first team level. For us though, nothing in terms of ins to be done unless we get tempted to sell Arthur. Back in a moment for deadline day. Transfer deadline day, and I think we're starting to see just how inaccurate some of these media rumours are, because yes, we've got the normal links. Mario Ricca with United, with Chelsea, with anyone else. Chelsea aren't in the Champions League, so he better not throw his toys out the pram for that. The one that's getting me, though, is Scott Lane, who I showed you briefly in the last episode, of interest to Hemel Hempstead, who they hope to sign on loan with an obligation to buy. In no world whatsoever would Tottenham loan out the best centre-half in the world. He doesn't even want to join us, because we're an average side compared to them. They finished second last season. He's at his boyhood club where he came through the academy. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. What a player, but I don't think we're going to be getting him anytime soon, unfortunately. Let's take part in deadline day. We're linked with Scott Lane, which just can't happen. Let's have a look at the other two. Claudinho from Chelsea. He's a very good player. I'd imagine our chances of getting him on loan are as great as the Scott Lane ones. Exactly. They don't want to loan him out. He's first team. And in Christian Poby, a holding midfielder from Manchester United. He is 4.5 star ability, 250 grand a week. And again, there's no way on earth they're going to loan him out. Where are these nonsense rumours coming from? Because it just won't happen. We've been getting massive offers for loads of our players. A few have thrown their toys out the pram. Most have accepted their fate. I mean, Coronel was upset when he couldn't go to Liverpool, has not been too unhappy about the rest. John Moore had a brief flint with Arsenal, Ricker obviously with Manchester United, and we've had offers for the likes of Chauvin, for Delgado, for Arthur and many others too. So we'll see what today brings. I'm imagining a lot of pain, a lot of stress and a lot of offers. But we'll get for our pre-match press conference with United. We'll take part in the final day of the Premier League transfer window. We'll be back in a moment if we get any offers. Didn't take long, did it? 2 hours in and we've got our first 3 offers of the day. Danilo Jose, Hanifan and Tyrese Ricketts. They've obviously given up on Ricker. The offer is, what's that, £62.5 million. And that is for someone who we bought last year for £19.5 million. I mean, the profits we could make on these guys is exceptional. But it's not the right time to sell, not at 22. We're rejecting that offer. I'm imagining a few will be unhappy at this. Danilo Jose, not a lot of money that actually. 18 million from Dortmund. Considering how strong he is as an able deputy. I know we only signed him for 1.5 million, but we can get more than that for him. Hanifan from Bayern Munich, £40 million. Remember when we were umming and ahhing about spending 13 on him? He's become pretty decent considering, hasn't he? Scouting finish on another player, young Fraser Coleman at Rangers. No, he's nowhere near as good as the initial scout report suggested. And a press conference on a Champions League draw. I'm guessing they're going to say that it's very difficult. I'm confident of a strong showing, but I'm not really. I'm not even sure we're going to get third. I'm sure someone will let us down. The AI will give us a favour. It's going to be a tough group to get out of, particularly when you consider our start to the season. So 2 hours in, we've had loads of offers already. But who will be there first to throw their toys out the pram? That's the question we're all asking ourselves right now. It is Tyrese Ricketts who wants to pursue a move to champions Manchester United. Could have been both of us going there in a different universe. Do I ask Hanifan to resolve it? He's done it a couple of other times. Oh, let's go for it. Jack Hanifan, be my hero, sunshine. He is absolutely brilliant at it. I don't think I've ever had a player in any FM who's as good at that as Jack Hanifan. What a man. He's done it 3 or 4 times. Tyrese Ricketts happy to stay. First problem of the day solved, and I didn't even have to do anything. Well, questions in the media about Rodrigo De Vita leaving, which he won't be, and 2 more offers. Danilo Jose up to 23 million, and the offer for Hanifan up to 50 million, but he has no interest in joining Bayern Munich. Excellent work. Glad to see that he's in that position at the moment. That's the lure of Champions League football. I dread to think what his next contract request will be though. Third Dortmund offer of the day for Danilo Jose. 28 million this time, still nowhere near good enough. 9 hours to go. We're going to keep batting off offers. I can't think of anyone I'd sell other than maybe Undo for massive money. 7 hours to go, and we're now getting to the territory, even with people like Undo, where we might not have time to replace them, so it's going to be a pointless task anyway. 34 million the next offer for Danilo Jose. Buying him for Ricketts now at 45 million, but no one seems to want to go for Bayern for some reason. 7 hours left. No big pressure so far from any player. 5 hours left. 3 offers in for Tyrese Ricketts. 65 million from Leicester out of nowhere. Europa League side this season. We'll reject all of those. But offers for someone we might have to consider. Shane Leacock, 27-year-old backup midfielder. I was going to say we might have to consider them because he's an average Premier League player. But for £10 million, they can get stuff. That is a really poor deal. I think we paid more than that for him, didn't we? We paid 11.25. If we'd got 20 or so, maybe we would have considered it. But not this year, not now till Rojas is back. Well, this would have been pretty low on my list of expected players to throw their toys out the pram after offers. Shane Leacock, offer from Norwich City, wanted to go. Let's discuss it with him and just say, we're going to talk about the dressing room atmosphere, which we always seem to do here. You value your social group here. Please be good. To be honest, that's not really important to me. Oh dear. I don't really want to let him go. I should have let Hanifan do it. I'm going to say the team comes first. Look, I can handle a backup player being unhappy. He'll forgive it as soon as Norwich drop their interest. So we're just going to ride it out. The last 5 hours, learn your lesson, leave it to Hanifan. Well, they're testing us with Shane Leacock now. 13.5 million the biggest offer. 12 from Norwich City. 3 hours to hang on. Now we've got one, and we've got a bit of a surprise offer. Nottingham Forest, as they did last window with Harry Thornley, have come in for Jason Dolner, who is our 5th choice centre forward. He's not a great player, but we've kept him on a lower deal. He's happy to be an emergency backup. I think he's worth more than 1.5 million, but it says he might become unsettled if he's not allowed to speak to Forest. So I think we have to be reasonable here. I'm going to put it up to 2.5 million and I'm going to put a sell on him. They're going to withdraw, but at least I can say I've tried to sell him and then we can agree a price for the January window. They're going to withdraw from that. They are. Dolner wants to discuss terms. I'll ask Hanifan first because we've learnt our lesson. I don't think this one will work though. Let's see. Oh, it does. I mean, Jack Hanifan has basically a 99% strike rate with these chats. He's better than me. He's going to be the manager of this club one day, isn't he? You can just tell it now. Jason Dolner happy to stay. He's going to be an emergency backup. German Moreira, the best trainer at the club. No deadline day offers for him, which is weird. We were getting 110 million ones earlier in the window. He is probably the best player at the club now as Rick has just had a knock. But with 1 hour to go, I think we've clung on to everyone. And just Shane Leacock that remains unhappy. 45 minutes to go and Wolves have come in with a dirty, pathetic offer. 7.5 million. Knowing he's unhappy, trying to unsettle him. That's naughty. I don't like that from any football club. It's been a good window though. We've done our big deals early. And on deadline day, we're just trying to keep everyone on board. And we've managed to do that. The 3 big outs listed on the screen there as the window closes. Rojas on loan, Egan and Jasinovic sold. We've also managed to sign a 3rd choice goalkeeper, Peebles permanently, young Arthur the superstar, and Ahmed Zarouk, one of the potentially best centre-halves in the world. The player wage expenditure, we've moved out of the bottom 3 for the first time. We've now got the 17th biggest wage bill in the division, which just shows how brilliantly we've done. And if we go for a roundup of the transfer window, the top deal is us for £73 million. The top deadline day deal is Tottenham losing a star midfielder, but we've let out the most players, mainly on loan. We've managed to get in a superstar wonder kid. Back tomorrow for the game against United. The champions under new management. This will be a real barometer of how far we've come. Well, fitness test time. Didn't expect this to be a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday, I've got to admit that. However, we've got some good news. Zarouk won 3rd place in the Young Premier League Player of the Month. A good start for him. We also got Ian Watts getting the best one in League 2. He's definitely going to make it as a pro. Let's have a look at the schedule though so I can show you the 2 games off camera. We basically had the same threat going forward that we did against PSG, but we learnt our lesson. We managed the games to prevent those late comebacks. So we beat West Ham by 3-0 at home. Ricketts and Torres, the strikers, with 1 apiece, and German Moreira got 1-2. And then away at Brentford, the same scoreline. Ricketts and Torres both scoring again, but this time Carlos Martin, who was in for the injured Mailton, got the 3rd goal. And to be fair, he started the season pretty well. Today, though, against Manchester United, we have got decisions to make. We should have Hanifan back from injury, should have Mailton back, and possibly Mario Ricca too. So let's have a look at the lineup for today. Peebles is out, but all of those are back bar Ricca. So we're going to have some big decisions to make. Back in a moment once I've done so. Okay then, I've bottled it and brought them both straight back in. I didn't mention as well from that West Ham game, you would have noticed a minute ago. Sold out our new stadium on the first day. 25,500 almost. Absolutely brilliant. Mailton back in today, as is Hanifan. Zaruk back to left centre half. Still no Ricca, and Do still not fit enough to start. And I've also gone on the bench for Jason Dolner above Shane Leacock, just to try and keep things as amenable as possible. Keep everyone happy in the squad. So that is the 11 we've gone for. It's John Moore in goal. We know we're going to need a big game from him. Chauvin and Delgado the fullbacks, with Zaruk and Hanifan as centre half. Arlan, Moreira, Coronel and Mailton the midfield diamond. Got to say, Moreira's had a slightly better start in that centre midfield attacking role, and it has helped us on the counter look more threatening. I do worry against an attacking team today, though, how United will be able to expose it. Ricketts and Torres are the 2 up front. Great to have our first choice number 10 back. Let's go and get into the game at Old Trafford. A big test away at the champions. Of course, no matter what happens today as we get through to the lineups, we'll always have that stat that Diego Simeone is only in that job because we rejected it. We were the first choice and he's there because we gave him an opportunity. In terms of their side, they've got some quality players. Keelan Wynn, one of the best strikers in England. He's coming from Watford for big money and he's starting for them today. Fabio Tavares is probably the best in the world. Musiala, we know about his quality. Inacio at the back, we managed him for years in the head coach. But he's a very new look side now, and you can see Simeone has started to spread the squad as well. So I'll be interested to see how they get on today. This is going to be an incredibly difficult game. When we've played in the Community Shield matches, we've been outdone. We've normally been beaten at Old Trafford. So I'm hopeful that we can cling on to the game for a little while. But we probably know this is going to be our first defeat of the season. Into the first half we go. Let's hope we can cause a shock. Well, half an hour gone. It's been a very quiet game. But more importantly, I know it's not been huge and we've still been the second best side here. We have had a bit more of an attacking threat than we normally do at Old Trafford. John Moore has to make a save there as the defence gets caught completely out of shape. But we have had a chance. We've been on the attack a few times. We've kept the ball a bit better too. So there are some positives out of this game. Though at half time, we've got our first injury of the day. Chauvin has picked up a knock. It looks like a muscular injury too. So I'm going to have to bring on Danilo Jose for him. We'll tell the lads to keep doing what they're doing. It's an awful first half of football. But an ugly 0-0 is probably what we need in a game like this. German Moreira has had a poor game on that attacking duty. Just going to drop it to support for this second half. Try and cling on for the point because I don't think we're going to be battering anyone here. And as we get 5 minutes into the second half, is a Manchester United corner that rattles off the woodwork from a near post header. John Moore was beaten. There was no one marking. And we've got a carbon copy here. This time to the back post. What a save! John Moore somehow keeps the first one out. Tavares then somehow misses the second. And Spurs, who finished second last year, are now losing at home to Stoke. As United are dominating from set pieces here. And I don't quite know how to stop it. I think we're going to have to make some changes in the middle. But you know my superstition. There's another highlight here. I'm looking at it and thinking, do I go to a 4-1-3-2 as Tavares has missed another sitter? We've got to change something. Do I go to the back 5, really try and contain it for a 0-0? Do I go to the flat midfield 3, try and protect the wide areas a bit more? Or do I stick with the same but different personnel? I think that's the least likely of the options. And I guess because Rick is injured and Torres is playing poorly, it doesn't make sense to keep him on. So I'm going to go against my better judgment to the back 5. Ricketts will go up front. He'll play off the left a little bit here. And then in midfield, we're going to take off German Moreira for, I think, De Vita, who will drop in and put Arlan in centre midfield. I think that works a little bit better than what we were doing previously. As centre half, Torres will be replaced by Inacio Jura. I'm not sure who the best of the 3 of those are in that sort of covering role. Probably Zaruk by the looks of things. And then do I make the third yet? Do I wait a while? I could leave it and then drop Mailton into the middle and replace him if we really need to go defensive at the end. So let's stick with those two for now. This is by no means exciting to watch, but a point here would be a real signal of progress. Oh, Mailton's got himself in trouble giving away a free kick, and I feel like we've done this far too early, but it's the only way really to contain the score. How they're still getting in behind that easily, I'm not quite sure. Zarouk clears the ball downfield. That shouldn't be happening because we've been done over the top with a back five there. They're at the other end. Imagine the smash and grab that could occur here. Arlan turns his man. Goes back to De Vitta, the sub. Into Coronel. On a booking. He's lost the ball in the middle. It's not good enough. It's forced wide to win. He comes down the right. He's got bags of pace, this kid. And he's skinned two men already. Gets to the byline. Delivers the cross. Tavares up. Oh, it's a wonderful save. John Moore has somehow tipped that onto the post. It's exquisite goalkeeping. We said we'd need him to be the hero. He's delivering again. Now let's make one more defensive change. Oh, I've made them all. I forgot about the injury. That's a pain. Mailton's going to drop in. We're going to put Arlan in the middle of the two. We'll work out his role in a moment. But first, Mazzala on support for Mailton. Deep line playmaker for Coronel. In fact, let's put him in the middle as the deep line playmaker. And he can be on a support duty. And then Arlan can go in as a box-to-box. That's the best we can do at the moment. We've got 15 minutes to go. And we're basically clinging on like the last minute of a Champions League final. Probably not what we want to be doing if we're going to challenge for a title. I've encouraged the lads. We've got 6 minutes to go. And United are on the front foot with a throw. And we've been soaking up and absorbing pressure for so long that you can just feel it going wrong. As Musiala finds Poby. Oh, he's done it again. Moore tips it onto the woodwork. The offside flag up for the rebound. What a phenomenal display. Somebody tell me how he's got a 6.8 rating. Because that is a disgrace. I'm sorry. He's been absolutely class. In transition now. Do I even try and counter press? I don't know. We're going to drop the lower defensive line. We're going to leave it at that. We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time. This would be a good point, despite the awful way we've had to play, despite the fact we've created nothing second half, and despite the fact John Moore's had to save us, and now does have the best rating of all of ours. We get a result with Hemel at Old Trafford. I feel like I've gone a bit Jose Mourinho there, but hey, he's successful, and if we win trophies, I do not care. Sometimes the question in football is how well can you do the ugly stuff. Today, we did it pretty bloody well, it's got to be said. Liverpool are running away at the top of the league. They won again against Chelsea. Goal difference of plus 12 already. Won 7-0 on the opening day. United level with us and Arsenal. But we held them. And that is a credible result. Despite the fact it was a pretty tepid performance. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when it's going to be back. The Champions League matches scheduled next to high profile Premier League games. So we'll decide which ones we're going to come back for. Hopefully we'll be able to get some points. Firstly though, a 7-day knock for Dominic Chauvin. Not too bad with the international break coming up, as long as they don't play him out there. Scouting finished on another player. No chance we're going to be signing him. But let's have a look at the schedule. After a pretty quiet and frustrating deadline day, this is what we've got to prepare for. So I'm not coming back for Wolfsburg and Spurs, because that's a bit too close to this one. My two choices are Liverpool at home and Shakhtar at home, because I want to show a Champions League game at home and the new stadium next time. Or Atletico Madrid at home with either Chelsea or Arsenal either side of it. I guess given they're top of the league, we should show Liverpool. Shakhtar is probably the most winnable Champions League game. So although it's not that far away, I think that's the one I'm going to come back for. If you did enjoy this episode though, holding on for dear life to our best players on deadline day and holding on for dear life to a point at Old Trafford, then please do put a thumbs up on it. In fairness, I don't go that defensive that often in FM, but needs must today. And we got the points, so you could argue it was the right result. If we'd done that against PSG and won the trophy, would have been a lot better than the entertainment we provided, wouldn't it? So, no entertainment now. This is about winning trophies. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we can, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Back with Helsingborg tomorrow. We're into our second season there. You can find that playlist up in the eye above, as well as the head coach, the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the merchandise store too. But let me know in the comments what chance you think we've got in the group, what position are we going to finish, and how do you think we'll do in the league this season, having held on to most of our players. In the meantime, the latest Helsingborg videos above my head now, and I'll see you back here for our Champions League debut and the first on-camera shots of our brand new stadium.